Okay, so that little snippet there was just me doing a bit of an improvised solo over a sort of a rock, sort of heavy rock backing track. Just gives you a little insight into the kind of things you're going to be getting and playing along to, and I'm going to give you when you come along for lessons. Now, a good thing about doing something like that is, I just literally wrote something quickly, put it together, and then I played it within sort of 3 or 4 takes of just having a run for a couple of times. So it was just off the cuff, completely improvised. Now, some people, as you go along with the course, you might prefer to compose your solos, and a lot of guys like to do that. Others prefer to just go in the studio, put the track on, and they play it 3 or 4 times, and then they just go, right, okay, that, they take bits of the best ones, or they just do the first or second takes, and they just take whichever one they like the best. So the key to this thing, in this improvising and / songwriting, which we'll talk about in 2 seconds, is that some people will find composing easier, some people find improvising easier, just off the cuff. But the more you practice doing this and just improvising off the cuff and just giving it a go, then the better you will be. And also this will tie in with your technique lessons, learning all your scales, all your rhythms, which is obviously the reading rhythms, the ear training key area as well. So once you start mixing them and getting better at them, you'll find you can just come up with ideas a lot quicker and a lot more instantly than you previously thought or could, So things like that, that I was just using there, all I was using was the minor pentatonic and the minor scale, all in the key of E. And then I used a little bit of I was thinking more sort of G major as well, but still resolving to the note of E. So you're using your theory there as well. And some of you might have got lost by what I've said there, but you have like an E minor is a relative minor to G major. So you can use the 2 scales. As long as you land on the strong notes of the chords that you're playing over, then you'll be fine. So that's your improvising. There's not, there's quite a lot to it. We're going to be working through quite a few things, and we're going to be building you up slowly. So what I'll be doing is I'll be taking you through, once you've grasped your pentatonics first, which will be the first lot of scales we're going to take a look at, then we'll start applying them to basic backing tracks, okay? And then as you progress on, we'll start using and mixing the minor scales and major scales in there, and then even looking at modes, applying arpeggios, applying your technique. So you might say, I want you to do an improvised solo for me, and I want you to only use slides, or only use bends and slides. So that's a really cool thing to do, because it really makes you think about what you're doing and how do I do this. Like, a really good thing for you to do is to play all along one string. That's a fantastic thing to do. And just play on that one string. It's quite hard because you feel you're very limited to what you can play, but it makes you more inventive when you're thinking about what can I come up with. You have to be really thoughtful of it and think, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do that. And it's great, it brings out other ideas. Okay, so that's the improvising side. That's going to be built up, and that's not going to come in straight away through the course. I'm going to bring that in gradually as you obviously progress through your technique area and work on your scales. The other side of this key area, this final one, this 5th one, is encouraging people to learn how to songwrite and come up with riffs and make up their own songs. Now, a lot of people are quite shy about this. If you ask students, I've asked students previously in the past to go away and in the next week bring me back something that they've written. It doesn't have to be long, it could be 30 seconds worth of music. And people always stare at you and think, what? I can't write something. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. There's that sort of shock horror on their face when you ask them to write something, even if you give them the chords. And this is the thing that I'm going to do. This is a good thing, exercise for you to do. Now, most people, I'll encourage you to just go away and write things in your own time when you feel comfortable doing it. But I will also set little tasks for all students to go away with, say, 4 chords and try and write something. I'll give you chords that work together, and then we'll look into why they work together. Obviously the theory side, that's the other area. And then you come back and then we'll get you doing a solo over it. So in a sense, although you're going to get provided with backing tracks, I want to try and get everybody that I teach to write their own backing tracks, in a sense, write their own songs, have a go at trying to write riffs, where you take a scale, say A minor pentatonic, and I'd say try and come up with something using the notes of the A minor pentatonic scale. And it really gets you thinking, because you have to think about it. And the more you do it, the more you practice it, the more you'll be able to just one day, you just sit down, pick up the guitar, and you just start playing. And hopefully friends, family, people like that will say, how do you do that? That's really cool. I want to be able to do that. And that's what I'm aiming to teach you, is to be creative And in that way, if you decide to go on and become a guitar tutor, which would be brilliant, you'll be able to write your own backing tracks and put those things together. And if not, maybe you want to be an aspiring songwriter, and then you can come up with things. So I'm just trying to put you on the right path. If you want to create music, you know, here's how you do it, here's how you get started, and then hopefully you'll run away with it, and maybe some of you become a few massive music superstars, hopefully. So that's for the improvising and the songwriting area. It just gives you an insight into what I do. Hopefully, you know, it's again encouraged you and made you think I wouldn't mind checking this guy out and having lessons from him. Hope to hear from you soon, and take care.